Gets me going. Hey-o!
Just such a good Tuesday jam.
I know, 151 times hearing that song, Have a Good Soul.
It's crazy. It's crazy how we found it at like the beginning, and it just like became our anthem. You know what I mean?
It wasn't playing out, I don't think.
Yeah, I think I had like a rap song or like a hip hop beat originally, and then
this one just felt right.
Yeah,
we did. Just get
well,
you.
Good evening, fellas. Happy KOTG Tuesday. Almost the Ides of March, you guys. Spring is coming.
Next week. Next week's the first day of spring.
I know, I'm excited. I've already gotten outside a little bit.
I didn't realize it was actually spring next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
21st, right?
20th. Yeah.
Even sooner than I thought.
Yeah. You guys are probably about, what, 5-10 degrees warmer down there than we are up here?
Yeah, we were, high 70s today. It still gets cool at night, but, I mean, we're going to get some rain these next couple of days, man.
Yeah.
Half an inch over a couple of days. So that'll water in my pre-emergent, speaking of episode 151. What do you say we all grab a glass and keep off the grass? Let's get this going, guys.
Jeez, this is not like us. What the heck? We used to bottles of liquor and just drinking a 12-pack on the show. Now it's like water.
We're getting old.
I thought I had beer in my fridge, but I don't.
I got lemonade, the little Mio squeezers. I'm really into those, man. That's how I stay hydrated at work. Give it a little flavor. Yeah. I used to do Crystal Light back in the day, but got away from that. But these are kind of a nice, fun thing.
Yeah, I like Mio. I mean, you can. The nice thing too is like you buy, and they're a couple bucks, and you can buy. I got grape, strawberry, orange, like. Oh yeah,
sweet. The kids have all the fun
flavors.
Yeah,
so you just change it up every once in a while and go from there. But it's a good way to get your water in for the day. There's your adulting tip of the day right there.
Irrigate your body.
There you go.
So I know it's not quite spring yet, but we were talking a little bit before the show. Olee, you said you got a mow in here this week already?
Second one today.
Second. Ooh.
You mowed twice today?
No, the second mow was today. I could have mowed twice today. I had enough fun and enough turf that I could have.
Did you? What kind of pattern did you go with? Did you do any posts or anything?
I just working on some checkerboard. I was looking to see if I could pull up a picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know how to do that now.
I'm gonna figure it out.
I forget.
I did cut the grass a little bit last weekend. I didn't really need it, but you know how when it starts to wake up, some areas kind of get going a little faster than others. And I was like, let's just kind of even it out, and maybe that'll encourage it to be ready when we finally get the rain that's coming. So it didn't need to get cut, but I was like, you know what? I'm out here anyway. I'm going to grab the mower. Kids are playing. Weather's great. Let's just do it. I think some folks had said, just, level it out. That way it's looking good. And that might spur some growth as it warms up.
Do you have growth? Is it starting to,
especially like along the driveway and sidewalks where it gets a little warmer.
Yeah.
Those areas were starting to green up real good. And then the trenches that where I used, the new seed that's a little bit darker, and that seems to be waking up a little bit faster too. But yeah, I mean, the lawn is kind of it's kind of going, and I can tell. I think it's ready because I haven't done any watering. Nothing, no rain at all until here at the end of the week. So next weekend, I don't know. Hoping to get a lot more green up. I think that'd be. I don't know. I think it'll happen.
Yeah, that. Like I said, I mean, you can slowly tell like maybe a hint of green up here, but there's no growth yet, or really nothing's happening. I mean, we're still below 50 degrees in the soil, so I mean, it's like one of those, you get those 2 70-degree days in a row. It's like today I was driving home and I'm like, man, I should get home and just mow real quick, just to like you said, clean up some of the debris, just kind of maybe take the tips off, maybe get a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, then I look at next week and like the end of this week, and one of the highest days is like 40 degrees, and I'm like, it's just a little too early yet. So
I was driving home from soccer practice with my oldest, and there was a lady out cutting her grass with a push mower today too. So I was like, all right, I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. Somebody else is doing it. Enjoying these nice days. So
yeah,
I'm getting excited. How about you, Zach? Are you? You said you're off next week. You're gonna get out there. What are you gonna do first?
I'm gonna mow. I could probably mow. I'm still like in 50s, 60s. Today was high 60s, but yeah, I could probably mow. I greened up last year. I noticed I had a late green up compared to. I mean, it's like on par with like everybody around here, but like this year, I'm greening up like I have a domination line already.
nice.
And
Nice.
I've never came into spring like that, so I don't know. I don't know if it's like because I overseeded pretty heavy. If it's a new grass seed or
It could be. Yeah.
what it is, but yeah, it's still got patches of dormant grass, but I could definitely mow if I wanted, but yeah, probably a couple more days would be perfect time. Right here's Olee. This is what you're looking at.
Ooh.
Shoo!
Already.
That was
That-
today.
That looks very nice, man.
That was
Oh
today.
damn!
He's not rusty.
Gotta
at
watch
all,
that,
Those are some
man.
good-looking laser beams.
Lasers.
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm. Ooh, all the way down.
I mean, I'm glad you started out the season with some straight stripes, Olee. I thought there for a minute you were gonna have this like, weird, stupid idea to
Come on now.
start out with some
Man.
curvy stripes and like do the whole year with some curvy stripes. I was like, no, I know my boy Olee would not do that to me. So
hey, so wait, so
that
yeah,
looks
what's
right
up
there
with
just looks
what's
fucking
up with
amazing.
what's up with that patch right there?
He probably didn't
We're
finish it.
down in the left corner.
He just wasn't
Right
quite finished
corner,
yet.
or yeah,
Top right.
Left bottom corner is where I just planted 2 trees.
top right.
Your front yard.
Like the back
Right.
of your
Oh, I didn't
house.
make it there
front of
yet.
your house.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
This
I
was
thought
a
maybe-
a mid mow video. This was a
Had to
I
be
gotta
thought
real
see
quick.
were,
I gotta see how things are looking.
Yeah.
Well, the
I thought you
video's
were
going
a
on.
real mower or something.
I was looking for your mower out there going.
I hadn't pulled it off of the card yet.
Gotcha.
I was just out there messing around, had my dog, and
Kind of looks like a flag.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
Nice line. You could do that, man. That would be cool.
Yeah, you could do that. You
Stars
you could
there.
almost, even if it's not to scale, like it would still look
It'd
cool.
still look cool. Yeah. That's actually.
I'd love to do a flag
man.
on this side for 4th of July
Yeah.
and
just do
everything
your-
be to scale.
Just do your whole front yard, like up to the tree in the front yard.
hmm
Just do your square up to there, then run your stripes the rest of it.
With the
And
correct
double.
amount of stripes, the correct amount of stars.
We just have to
Make it
run some real thick stripes.
Quadruples.
Yeah. And then in the front yard, just spray paint some white stars in there. That look badass.
I like to do
Yeah.
it in sort of
Acre
have
flag.
the look
Ooh,
like,
like a little
flag's
wave
got
to
a-
it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Make some wavy stripes.
Yeah.
That way I could tag Nate and look at this.
If you did a flag, I would probably accept that as pretty badass. But
Yeah.
no, that looks good. Yeah, I'm getting jealous starting to see some. And like I've noticed, it's like every time I see like some real green up stuff, it's like people are like, "Where you at?" And it's the Carolinas. You guys are just greening up over there and rocking and rolling 70-degree days. Was it Jason? He's out there mowing. He had that demo of that Ferris.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His
Jason
lawn's
Riley.
Yeah, I mean his lawn's looking dark green too.
Mhm.
So here
So-
I'll
A lot of good ones.
I'm gonna try to pull up a picture here of what I took. It's like now my lawn it's not mowed or anything, but you can see how I'm talking about how I'm greening up. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. But you guys can continue for right now. I'll see if I can get this pulled up.
So today we're going to have a debate about to pre-emerge or not pre-emerge. Is that what we're talking about, Nate?
Yeah. So, there's kind of been a hot topic this year, I guess you'd say, with the I'll just throw out the rough category of YouTube, Instagram, influencers or whatever that have kind of got maybe it's just, controversial to get clicks, or maybe it's, just something that's maybe getting looked at further. But yeah, the notion of, do you really need a pre-emergent? Some people are pro pre-emergent, some people are not pre-emergent. I think Olee, in the past, you typically stay away from pre-emergent.
I didn't do any this year.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't have that true, see, like in the Midwest, we get that hard frost, or you get that hard freeze that can kill off a lot of it. It goes dormant, and then it's going to come back when those soil temps come back up. I feel like yours is more like it's just year round. So you don't really have that kind of regrowth of the weeds and stuff like that. So if you can combat it with a post-emergent all year, I feel like that's like maybe a better strategy for where you're at compared to maybe like me and Bill and Zach.
Well, for here, what's common here and what most people are trying to beat with pre-emergent is crabgrass. Because crabgrass is pretty wicked around here. And if I'm not mistaken, a single crabgrass plant will make like 6,000 seeds.
Jesus.
And that's a lot of, reproduction. That's a lot going on. I
I don't have,
huh?
That's a lot of reproducing.
That's a lot. Well, that's a lot. I don't have a crab. It's so thick. I don't have a crabgrass problem. I do not have a crabgrass problem. Now I've got a spot or two of poana. No, poatrieve. Like even that video, you could see one spot about the size of probably a volleyball when the video first takes off.
Let me
You
see if I
hit
can
play.
spot it. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see if you can spot it.
Tell me when to pause it.
Keep going. You can see it. You'll see it right about. Boom.
Okay.
Oh, right there in the light stripe.
Yeah.
Sickening.
A little birthmark.
Yep.
If that's all you got to complain about, I mean,
that's what
life's
you're
raw.
looking at, bro. Like, holy shit.
God.
It must be nice.
I've got about probably
Yeah,
8
that patch is
spots
probably
like that,
6 feet wide though, because his lawn's so big. You
No,
better
it's
zoom
not
in.
that
It's a
big
6
around.
foot.
I promise you.
Yeah.
That spot's as big as my whole lawn.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, like I say, most people pre-emergent wise, that's why they're after trying to keep back crabgrass. But if you don't have a ton of crabgrass in the past, dropping seeds all over the place or thin turf, I don't have a problem with crabgrass.
Would you?
Here I am, so you can see I am greening up. Like, if I mowed that would look pretty fresh. So yeah, I gotta
time to cut the yellow off the top.
Yeah, and you can see like my footprints at the bottom. Those are footprints for me walking around my house. That's the side of my house. But like my whole lawn looks like that. It's hard to see it in the contrast. It's about that's about the state of my lawn. But you can see this is a shitty day without sun too.
Sure.
So
yeah, man, I see some.
So once I mow that, I'm gonna have a sick little domination line going into spring. But anyway, sorry, continue.
So Olee, I guess my question is like on if it's just crabgrass, can't you still post-emergent treat it with like a drive accelerator or whatever? Like, like, but is it more the mindset of the prevention, or is it? I guess what do you guys typically do over there?
Well, I mean, you could pre-emerge with Pro-Dime. You could get it down the yellow paint stuff. Or you could go with some like Dithiopyr. I don't think I'm saying it right, but anyway, Dithiopyr.
Yeah.
And then it has pre-emergent and some post-emergent capabilities on young crabgrass.
Okay.
So, but the way crabgrass is, if you catch it when it's young and soft, you can hit it with something like drive. But once it gets to be a mature plant, it's pretty dang tough to take out.
Yeah.
As far as the crabgrass is.
Yeah.
So if you're didn't time your spring pre-emergent, the Dithiopyr, that would be probably a better option than you would say like prodiamine, just because it has a little bit of that post-emergent quality if you missed some. Yeah.
And plus, I'm normally like I got a couple places to fix, and I got a new toy to poke holes and drop seed with. So I was like, well, I'm not doing any pre-emergent.
What do you got?
I got a stinger with a seed
Oh,
box.
no shit. That right on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw
Damn,
a
you're
couple
gonna
videos.
do
Yeah, that could be
so you're
fun.
gonna do your whole
No, I'm not going to do the whole place. I don't need to do the whole place, but I got some areas that need some attention. So,
okay.
and
You got a pull behind
Mhm.
area, right?
Mm-hmm. But this thing is just so much quicker as far as getting turned around and going the other way.
Yeah.
The deal behind my tractor is pretty cool, but when you go to turn around, it's like 4-point turn and then come back the other way because you're about 20 some feet long.
Yeah.
Where this thing is just like it's just like a zero turn. I mean, you just rip around and take off the other way. So
That will be nicer for sure.
Yeah.
Is it faster too, or you just go at the same speed? It's just the turning is what kind of saves you the hassle.
supposedly to run 8-9 mile an hour.
Good
Jeez.
clip. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
fast.
And you
So-
run over a foot with that, poke a hole in your
Yeah, it's got a good bit of downforce to it.
I've seen people on them like kind of getting a little fucked up, like getting jerked and stuff, like not knowing how to use it.
Well, I can tell you what, if you get on one and you come across a big root or something just under the soil or a
We can
concrete, or it'll take you for a ride.
Bounce you up.
Throw you. Yeah.
It'll take you for a ride for sure.
Gotcha. So back to our kind of debate about pre-emergent, what would you say, I guess, is the biggest con or negative thing of pre-emergent? I guess what's your guys' opinion?
Probably that you can't seed if you got any bare spots.
So that's one thing.
I mean, not saying you can't seed, but you have
Gets a little tricky.
a less exceeding chance of seeding, and you have a lot more work to do if you want to seed. Not saying you can't, but that's what I would say. Like your biggest problem. So if this is your first year in lawn care and you got bare dirt, maybe it's not the best option. But I don't know. I don't really see a lot of pros and cons straight up black and white. I just see it kind of depends on the situation to me.
Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish that spring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Root pruning.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So if you seeded like in the fall, and depending on timing of everything, if you did a late fall seeding and just got basically germination and establishment, hopefully it made it through the winter. But if not, that's something you can, that may affect it in the spring.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely something to consider. I personally, I've tried doing my overseeding earlier in the fall, and that way, hopefully, my lawn's established and everything, and then it's coming back and whatnot. But I have put pre-emergent down in the spring following a fall overseed. I know some people stay away from it for that first year, but if you're seeding, multiple years in a row in the fall, I guess how do you combat that? I mean, you could use tenacity or something like that for maybe your first application in the spring, buy you like 30 days, but the rest of the summer you're going to struggle with weeds.
Tenacity gets you a good 14 days.
Is it 14? I was thinking it was 30.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
And you could probably apply, specific pre-emergence a little later than, I would recommend earlier, but I mean, after like maybe your fourth mow or something, you could probably still get pre-emergent down and be pretty well covered.
Yeah.
Well, you look at like a split app.
Like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're doing a split app, that'll get you a longer time. And a little
keep
bit more
broadleaves
coverage.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you won't get 100% coverage, but maybe you get like 80%, deduction or so, but that'd still be something, if you want go that route, and it would last longer. So, but I've been back and forth. Like for a few years, I straight did pre-emergent in the fall because I was going after specific weeds that germinate over the winter. But I'm kind of like Olee. I don't have crabgrass, but I have I do have some other nuisance weeds. But crabgrass has never really been a big issue for me. But with that said, I still like the added coverage when I do it.
I'm probably gonna put myself on blast, but those little weeds that look like oak tree leaves or whatever, I don't know what they're called. I need to get one of those plant identifiers to take a picture of it, but we get a lot of those, like these specific broadleaf with the kind of jagged edges, not like dandelions but just little bunches of them. You can get them out real easy, but those ones will pop up pretty easy. And I could tell when my pre-emergent's wearing off, because as we get to that 2.5, 3 month mark, they'll start popping up more and more as getting closer into summer. And maybe it's a combination of it's wearing off and then it's getting warm enough for those to actually start germinating. I don't know if those are late season.
Yeah, stress of the grass and it.
Yeah, that too. The grass is not grown as thick too. So, but I've always done the prodiamine in the springtime, and I do it early spring. In fact, I just put it down last weekend. Hadn't watered it in yet, but we're going to get some rain, so that's going to take care of it. So, around mid-March is typically whenever I put my pre-emergent down. I got, I don't know if you guys have that Greencast where they'll send you a little email. I got that almost a week and a half ago. Like, hey, it's been so many days in a row. Consider consider whatever. So I was like, all right, this is a good window. I think last year I beat that email from them by a week, so I'm about a week behind this year. So I don't think I don't think it's going to be. I'm hoping it won't be an issue from last fall. I mean, I think what they say, you 60 days after you apply a pre-emergent. Well, I guess this would have been before. So I did it mid-September is when I put all my fall seeding down. So I don't think there'll be an issue with now, essentially 6 months later, putting down pre-emergent. If things are germinated, they're going to germinate. If not, they're probably wimpy ones. I don't want to germinate anyway. Put some more down next fall. I don't know. You guys think though there's a genuine possibility that the pre-emergent that I put down now, there could possibly be some baby grasslings that didn't quite finish germinating, and I might hinder those?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's another reason. Like I've got such a late seeding. I didn't get to seed till November 14th or whatever. I'm hoping, and I am actually seeing some other germination from the seed that's been there until we've getting the moisture and the temperature we got now. So that's another reason I'm just like, I'm gonna hold off. So
there's been years where I've almost debated not using it just to kind of see, because I figured, most of my properties aren't covered with trees like, Brent, let's say, like you have a lot of stuff where there's, I'm sure, tons of opportunity for birds and critters and whatnot to be bringing stuff into your yard. There's not that much around, right? And overall, the grass is pretty thick and healthy in the springtime. If I skip the pre-emergent, would I get that much weeds? I don't know, probably not. Maybe the neighbors, that do get weeds, that would happen if my lawn wasn't as thick as it is, but it gets pretty thick in the springtime. So maybe at this point, a pre-emergent, you could skip it and see how you do. So it's too late now, but maybe for next year.
And like realistically, you're out there, you're all the time looking at your lawn, so you can almost treat it post-emergent just as
That's
effective.
true,
like, like you're out there.
Yeah.
And, maybe sometimes it's good to let it grow out and kill it versus, just preventing it. I don't know. I'm just talking shit, but
no. I mean, that's a good point. Makes sense. But that's also a really good point, Bill, because it's like, I hadn't really thought about that, which, probably makes me sound pretty stupid, but it's like that whole side yard that I just redid in the fall. Like, I hadn't really thought about it, but now that you said that, like, I should probably not put any pre-emergent down on there, just because there are some spots that are still a little bit that were a little slower to fill in on that side yard. And it's like, obviously I want, as much of that new growth, like pushing up, or those little seedlings that maybe didn't germinate as much, or stuff that, didn't germinate at all. Like I want to try to push some of that stuff this fall. I want it to grow. I want it to fill in really, really good. So, probably a good idea not to put pre-emergent on that brand new spot.
Yeah.
So regarding Nathan's comment, so I never put down pre-emergent with fertilizer. When I put down pre-emergent, I just put down straight pre-emergent. So I know they do sell it with fertilizer, but I like to keep, it's not weed and feed, I know, but I like to keep my fertilizer and my weed control separate, just because I don't know, just how I've always done it.
Well, for me, like you're talking soil temps at 50, and a lot of products say don't put down till soil temps 55 or higher. And right now, I was actually thinking about putting down my pre-emergent tonight because we got some rain coming. It's a little early. It would have been fine to do it, but I'm thinking, well, I don't want to push any growth right now because it's too early.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've always recommended and stayed away from any pre-emergent and fertilizer combinations, just because I think there's a few weeks at least, if not damn near a month, between when I want to put my pre-emergent down and when I want to start mowing and pushing growth.
Yeah, because if you fertilize correctly in the fall, you should be able to last, at least 3, 4, 5 mows.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, anyone asks me, but you look at price. A lot of times it's only a few bucks more to get it with the fertilizer in it. So it's like, you hate to not take advantage of that because you're going to put an application down. And I know majority of your True Greens and all that, they just come out in spring and do one application, and that's a pre-emergent and a fertilizer. But like I said, that's my personal opinion, is I stay away from it. I don't recommend it to people when they ask me. I typically say, go with just a pre-emergent 007 from Lesco, or like a Barricade from the Andersons, and just put that down, roughly mid-March for where I'm at. And then, mid-early April, then you can hit your first fertilizer, get some nitrogen, start pushing some growth out.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
But I think, to me, I think,
too.
Back to our conversation, to me, I think the biggest downfall of pre-emergent is not necessarily to use it or not to use it. It's more, did you use it properly? Did you hit the window? Did you miss the window? I've talked about this in the past, where a lot of times when I get weeds, it's around my driveway, it's around the cracks, or the edges of my property. And a lot of times I think it's because I didn't get my spreader close enough, or I didn't want to throw it in the driveway or whatnot. But then the more I looked at it, and the years and years passed, I think it's more because the heat from the concrete heats up to your edges. So your edges are 55 and they're starting to germinate. Whereas, if you go out and measure your lawn right now, you take your thermometer out there, when's the last time you actually just went right beside your sidewalk and did that versus just walking out to the middle of your yard, right?
Yeah.
And so what I think tends to happen is, like when I did mine, I went out to the middle of the yard, boom, it's 44 degrees. But like I said, if you go to your sidewalk, I bet you're like 48 degrees or something like that, especially on a nice sunny day. So I think that's where a lot of my weeds come from, is around the edges, just because that has hit 50, 55, and I missed that window.
Yeah, prior to getting it down. No, that's a good point. You're looking at a couple different factors, when you're considering that. And I think that's a really good observation, because, any number of these things, anything that we talk about, it's like there's a lot of different factors, right, that come into play with all of this stuff. And, it's just kind of like slowing yourself down a little bit, almost, to like, all right, what are all the factors that could contribute to this thing, whatever it is. And, I know for myself, it's like, I don't always think that. I always just see something and it's like, oh, I need to get in there and take care of that, whatever it is.
One of the things I think too about the Barricade, and I looked up, it's been a minute, but you can Google online. It's free. There's their actual EPA kind of analysis from back in the 80s or 90s or whenever it was. And one of the things that I wanted to see what it said about, does it get washed out or does it kind of stay in place? If I'm making a video or telling people about it, I want to, know like, hey, what I'm talking about. And one of the things that they talk about as far as the degradation of it or how it kind of breaks down in the environment is just soil. Like if you have, it doesn't really get washed out. It does have hydrolysis, like moisture will kind of, break it down, but then just microbial, I think it's microbial activity or just, heat, temperature, warmth, again, will just break down over time and just become inactive. So if you're, always a few degrees warmer along the driveways and sidewalks, or it's a hot sunny day, evening comes, the rest of the lawn cools off, but that stays however many degrees warmer, theoretically that pre-emergent is there, will be kind of breaking down faster. So that may wear off sooner too. That was kind of my thought there, knowing that the grass will grow thicker and faster sooner, or in the summertime, it will get kind of burnt out on those areas sometimes too, especially if the sprinklers don't hit it. I don't know.
Definitely that temperature breaks it down a lot sooner. So yes, sir.
Yeah, I was trying to see too, like how long does it last? And there's a couple of things that it was, how much are you putting down? The more you put down, the longer it'll, the whole half-life thing. And then, what's your, how hard are you? So it's kind of hard to give a real accurate, like it lasts exactly this long or exactly this long, because depending on where you live, it may be there and work longer or shorter. So for me, putting it down a little bit early is not a problem because number one, it's not going anywhere. And number two, if we're still on the cool side, that means it's not really going to get broken down as fast as it would otherwise or a little bit later. So I would rather have it down a little bit early. That way I know it's there versus kind of waiting and pushing it, especially like you guys said, it doesn't have that post-emergence. So, if you miss it, you miss it.
And then the second thing is whenever you do apply and how much you apply, make sure it's not so strong that it lasts all the way into the time that you're ready to reseed or overseed.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like
if shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. So if you, like Bill, on your side, if you air a few weeks early, well, if you're planning on overseeding in the fall, that's kind of an advantage for you.
Yeah.
That okay, I've hit my end of the expectancy. I'm not going to have any interference with my fall plans.
Years back, I think when you had first mentioned your idea about the split app, you do a half rate early spring, half rate before summer or whatever your time frame was.
Like 6
I thought
weeks
about
later.
doing that. And then, but again, if say, I have about a 60 to whatever day window where it works, if I put it down, in June or at the end of June, and I want to overseed in September, that's probably not the best idea because you just don't know. Granted, everything's going to be kind of torn up and aerated and whatnot, but so I have not done the split app yet just because I always tend to overseed in the fall, and I just want to make sure there's nothing. I want all of my conditions to be ideal so that the grass has the best chance, like Brent was saying, of getting full germination and looking good.
Mm-hmm. The other
stinger.
It took me forever, but I finally remembered how to do it.
I'd say
It looks like a little beast.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
It's like 1,500 pounds. 30. It's 36-inch wide working area, and then it's got the seed box on it. It's a house.
How much seeds that hold?
I don't know yet. I can tell you.
It just drops the seed after you make the holes.
It drops the seed right in front of the tines.
Okay.
I would think it'd hold 100 pounds, 2 bags.
Where does that drop at? I'm trying to figure out.
It drops right in. Let's see if I got a better picture. It drops right in front of the tines, right in front of the tires.
Because that's a long drop.
No, it sticks up under the bottom. So you're probably 5-6 inches off the ground. So it's got good control, like far as wind and getting in flower beds and driveways. It's actually a very cool setup.
I've seen those ones where they spread the topsoil and then aerate behind it. I would love to have that done to my yard sometime, but that's pretty awesome. Years ago, I was crazy over that composting, top dressing. But once I started using the earthworks in the granular form,
and you can spread it with your push spreader.
Yeah.
I sold the top dresser. I give up on all that stuff because compost can be dirty.
Yeah.
Compost can be a mess. Compost is expensive, and you got to have it trucked in. You got to have
That was my
somewhere.
thing. Is I got nothing to. I don't got no trailer or nothing. I'd have to have it on the ground and then shovel it into that thing and then do it. Come back. I mean, that would suck.
And then you don't know how it's composted, and then it needs to be screened to where you don't get a bunch of trash.
That's true.
Next thing you know, it's like I say, I just give up on that whole idea, and that's when I started using the earthworks, and never looked back.
Fair enough.
But I have seen what you're talking about. It looks cool, but
It does look cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
it's like 4 foot. I think it's like 4 foot wide. You know, it would be cool for less than 8,000 square feet. Probably be pretty cool.
Yeah, yard like yours, it would take forever still. God, how much topsoil would that be, or compost would that be? I don't know.
It depends on how thick you want it. If you wanted an 8 or a quarter,
Yeah.
I mean, you could somewhere like that. You probably need 150 yards. You know, 4 or 5 18-wheeler truckloads. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I just let it go.
Yeah. I think I shoveled 3 yards and almost killed myself. So, no thanks.
Yeah, I remember seeing those videos.
Well, I mean, if you do that, then you have to have it dumped on your driveway or something, and then you got to turn around and load it.
Yep. Cover it up, clean it up. If it rains, run out there and not 150 yards, but
You just load something up over here. I'm trying to watch this.
I'm on a roll now. I'll forget about it.
Dude, this is giving my brain, making my brain feel good. You doing this and just clicking it.
this is awesome.
Normally I'm getting 20 text messages. Ding, 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 ding. Like, you pull this up.
He's getting the hang of this podcast.
This is badass.
Old dogs can learn new tricks.
Yeah, man.
That's right.
Is that
You always
sitting on where
have
you
good
stand on
content
that
to add
thing?
to it too. So this is
Say what,
Oh,
Bill?
is that where you stand, where the bag is? Is that where
Yes,
you are?
yes, sir. Yeah.
It looked like a platform.
no,
That's
that's
pretty cool, man.
Dude, that's sweet. You need to take some sweet videos
Of
with
course you
that.
got
Unless you already
pictures.
did, I might have missed them.
Got some.
No, I'm bringing it over to the house tomorrow. I got my truck and trailer hooked together, and I'm gonna bring it over here tomorrow. I wanted to mow first.
Don't you have one of those Insta 360s, or do you have like one of those cameras, like a GoPro, but where you can do like 240 frames a second, where you could like strap it real close and kind of see some of the seed dropping down? That would be a cool shot to get like up in there and see it.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know. I'd like to see that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What I wish is I had somebody to fly the drone while I was playing. That's what I wish I had. That would be cool, but I don't have that option.
Get
a
them
personal
girls out
assistant,
there.
a PA.
Yeah, they starting to learn some stuff.
Don't trust
So-
her with the drone just yet.
Yeah,
Well-
other. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the other point I want to make about pre-emergent is, not only timing of temperature, but like rainfall. We all know the weathermen are not very good at their jobs. And like last weekend or whatever it was, we're supposed to get rain like 2-3 days. They're talking an inch. And I don't even know if we got more than like 0.02, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. Like, I mean, I was looking, that's why I was thinking about doing it tonight. Cause we got chances of rain the next 3 days. If it doesn't rain, then after that, maybe you go 2 weeks without rain. Then you got that just sitting out there for maybe multiple weeks. And,
Yeah.
and right now the timing of putting down your pre-emergent, like where I'm from, you're not running your sprinklers, cause could potentially, possibly crack a water line, or, it's just too early to be doing that stuff. Unless you're, I don't know. That's how it wasn't watering the lawn, but 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was, I mean, it was a beautiful April day, late April, I think it was. And I went out and was power washing some stuff. And, one of the water lines on my spigot had cracked. And then the next day went down the basement and it was just, flooded. And we had to gut the whole basement. And,
I remember you telling us the story.
yeah. So we had to redo all that. And it sucked because like literally I was out there like, oh, I got this power washer and I'm going to I'm going to video like
This is gonna
power
be
washing
awesome.
my mower and everything. So the whole time, the water's on. I'm not using it, but it's on. It's just dripping.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're
straight
talking,
in there.
beautiful 70-degree day. So the whole day we were outside, and just spent the whole day out there, and the whole time the basement's just getting flooded, But my point is, rain and timing of the pre-emergent is another thing to consider. So taking all that into account, I mean, soil temperatures, rain, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it is a pretty tricky product to use in regards to like on the catch side, like a fertilizer. Right? You just go out and, put it down and, it's going to start working.
Yeah. I mean, it's
know,
definitely something you got to think about. But
Yeah.
what about this? I mean, is it possible to put too much water on your pre-emergent? What if you put it down, then you get soaked and you get like a crazy rainstorm?
it could wash away depending on how torrential it is or whatever, if it's a, it's spring.
Gully.
Typically,
Gully
yeah,
washer.
a gully washer. There you go.
Gully washer.
But yeah, in spring, you can get some violent storms and whatnot. That's why a lot of people don't spring seed, because you can get washouts and stuff like that from heavy rainfalls. But yeah, I mean, I think it's, typically in Midwest, we don't really have huge, bad storms in March. Heck, you still might get snow in that, but yeah, you get some rain and whatnot. But to me, the biggest thing is, hey, I see 90% chance of rain. You're supposed to have a half inch of rain with pre-emergent, with at least prodiamine. So, you go out there, you put it down, and it rains 0.1. Then it's like, crap, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, that's my biggest frustration with.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to bust out my old sprinklers and hoses, and water it in if we don't end up getting the rain like they're predicting for sure. Because yeah, I mean, it's just going to sit there and it's not going to work. So you got to have it, where it needs to be. So yeah, I'm not turning on my actual irrigation just yet. I need to get it backflow, certified or whatever before I technically start using it. And I don't know when they're going to come out, but I also don't want to have to turn on my sprinklers in March. That just feels like something that you don't want to do. It's too early.
Yeah. And like I had said a couple weeks ago when we first started talking about this, that I was planning on doing pre-emergent in the next couple weeks, and I haven't done it because of all of the rain that we've been getting.
Sure.
So it's like my plan was, I was thinking last week, like, okay, cool, I'll be able to, crank this out one night real quick after work. I'll get it down, and then we were supposed to get some rain last weekend, and then I looked at the forecast, and it was like torrential rain all weekend long. So it rained Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like pouring. So it's I held off on doing it, for another week, because I was like, well, I don't. And sure enough, because it rained 3 straight days, like pretty bad, pretty hard. I had like my backyard was like a swamp, and like standing water in one corner. So it was like it wouldn't have done any good anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing. I mean, it's definitely something in lawn care. Like pre-emergent is definitely one of those things that you got to play with. You have to really think about it, and you need to plan for it. Which I think is probably why a lot of people don't do it.
What are you using again? Which one are you going with this year, Brent?
I did Barricade from the Andersons.
Okay.
Yeah, the granular, no fertilizer, just the straight.
So I know they make the Dimension too,
Barricade.
but I've always used prodiamine, and I thought so there's also the question of do you need to rotate, or is it harmful to use the same one year after year after year? And I thought about rotating, but I've had 4 lawns in 3 years, so this would be like my first year of using it twice in a row. I don't think that's a big deal, but I was considering maybe switching over and doing the Dimension one of these years. Have any of you guys actually used that one with that little post-emergent property?
Yeah, I rotated twice once, and then to Brent's point, timing is everything. Like last year, I planned on doing a pre-emergent, and I freaking just pick up. Yeah, I'm okay. Next thing you know, I missed my window. Because that's the thing too. You may get rained out for a week straight where you can't put anything down, and then you miss your window.
Yeah.
You miss
Kicks up to 80 degrees, and you're like,
then your grass is like 10 inches long, and then you got to mow it, figure out what to do with your clippings, maybe mow it again. You want to mow it again before you get it down, and by that time, you miss your window. So that's why I when I haven't applied them, now that I think about it, it's probably because I missed my window and I attempted to. And so that's why, like, I'm just going to do it whenever I can. Whenever I get the opportunity, I'm going to do it. And I'd say if you plan on doing it, that's what I would recommend. Don't worry about if it's early or not. Whenever you got an opportunity to do it, just do it.
Now, what if you miss your, now for any of you guys, I mean, like group question, if you miss your application of prodiamine, do you guys have dimension like on hand that if you miss your application window for prodiamine, you go, okay, well, I'm gonna kind of like pivot and go over the dithafir, is that how you say it? The dimension?
I don't have it, haven't used it, but I'm now honestly considering if I should just skip the pre-emergent next year altogether. You guys are getting me wondering, but I was gonna try using that, and trying the whole alternating thing, and see if there's any difference too, in performance. So far, the prodiamine has worked great. I've had no issues. Keeps me virtually weed free all spring and just before summer. So I don't know, maybe.
I like that, Matthew.
I always spray. That's the picture I was getting ready to pull up. I put
You got one up there? I didn't see it.
No, I don't have that. I was getting ready to. I don't know why that one's sideways.
Oh, that's fine. Just one.
I don't know why it's sideways.
That's actually pretty sweet. It'd be sweet if you did that and then you mowed the one side all dark stripes, the other side all light stripes. Just make it
half
like
and half.
dark and light. That would be sweet. I always wanted to do that, and I tried it once, and it was
a lot of passes to get back over there.
Well,
a lot of back and forth.
Yeah,
on
your
that one.
edges. You could go around your edges too. You could
run a box, dart and go over light.
Yeah.
You're going to beat the shit out of the turf on the top and bottom getting back.
Yeah.
You're just going to be making a lot of circles. I think it would be cool though, like that, then to run like 3 dart and then one light and 3 dart and something funky,
like a soccer field or something. Yeah,
racing stripes or something. No, what I was going to pull up is like I spray the cracks in the driveway with glyphosate and prodiamine mixed together to where I kill the crap in the cracks, but also had the prodiamine in the driveway cracks to keep other stuff from taking over.
Coming back.
That's a good idea. I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
I do that in the flower beds too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't remember the name, but I remember there being some kind of a pre-emergent for flower beds that you don't want to put on your lawn.
Snapshot probably, like
Yeah,
granulars.
That's what it was. Yeah. Have any of you guys ever used that on any of your beds?
I've used it in the beds before. Yes.
Oh, Snapshot's the same thing, active ingredient in preen. If you ever use preen,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But it's just, I think it's more expensive if you in preen by the weight you get it. But normally when you buy Snapshot, you have to buy a lot of it. So it seems like a lot of money. It's like $100 for like a little bag, but but it'll last forever.
Is it stuff that you shake on there, or how do you apply it? Is it a spray? I don't know.
I've always seen just the shake, just the granules, yeah.
Okay.
Or you use a little
Nora.
hand job.
Yeah. Move it.
About that.
Nate, you see the private chat?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I was trying to
cancel.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
find it quick. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that is, but we can say it's that time.
I love it.
This has been a solid tune too that we picked out a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
We were talking about how good hearing the intro song 151 times sounds earlier. What was 151
So
times? It was probably like
So good.
140.
KOTG coming at you on Tuesday night with the bangers. Got the intro song and the Lawn of the Week song.
Brent, you want to do lawn of the week?
I don't even know who it is. I'm sorry, guys. I
No,
got in here
you
late.
just do the spiel.
No, your
While
spiel.
While Nate
Yeah,
gets
can-
the
yeah,
all right, I can do
Our
the
bag.
spiel.
I can announce.
viewers at home.
I'll
You
announce
announce
who it is.
All right, here's
You
what-
announce the
here's what we're gonna
spiel.
do.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll cut this out on the podcast. It'll be real clean. If you don't know, the Keep Off the Grass or KOTG Lawn of the Week is a hashtag that we use on Instagram. So if you hashtag KOTG Lawn of the Week in a post or in a reel, not in a story because it will disappear, then we will take a look at all of those posts every week and determine who has the baddest lawn on Instagram that week. And if we choose your lawn, we'll feature it on the show. And our good friends at Pro Pete Fertilizer will send you out a bag of fertilizer, your choice of NPK. You can take a look at homedepot.com and see what NPK is available for you to choose. You let us know. We'll send that off to Pro Pete, and it is yours, shipped to your door, free of charge. Thanks to the good folks over at Pro Pete Fertilizers, who sponsor the Lawn of the Week segment, which is right now. So, Nate, who do we have this week that gets a free bag of Pro Pete Fertilizer and bragging rights?
Eternal.
Yeah, so Zach will pull it up here, and I kind of want to see it before I start talking about it. So this is a reel. It's not someone's yard, but this is actually a baseball field at the high school that he works at, and he takes care of it. So he mows this.
That's awesome.
And he's kind of taking it on in his baby, and look at that infield and those stripes. It's pretty sweet.
Man.
But yeah, so the IG account is It's Time for Dodger Baseball. That's what ITFDB stands for. He's out of California. Actually, I believe he's been a Lawn of the Week winner for his own personal yard. Has a very, very, very nice looking yard as well. But like I said, he's taken over. Like I said, he's taken over the high school baseball field and making it look just sweet.
That's
It's
pretty
looking
cool.
awesome.
Even on a cloudy day too. Those are
Yeah.
popping.
Yeah.
Like I said,
You
go
know,
give him a
5
follow.
days, get that thing popping.
Go give him a follow on Instagram. Like I said, he definitely posts some lawn care content, and you can see, like I said, the baseball field as well. Which, like I said, if I was in high school, I'd definitely want to play on that sucker. That'd be sweet. That'd be pretty cool. So
Yeah, I don't know about you boys, but when I was playing baseball and growing up, I don't think I had a baseball field that was looking that sharp.
Yeah, the crab grass.
Shoot, we're still in the phase where it's like sand or dirt infields and stuff. The whole
Yeah.
thing is just
see, I played on a really nice high school field. When I was in high school, we actually played state tournament at our home field. That's where the 4A baseball
Nice.
tournament was.
Cool.
Then
Yeah,
they
good fields
they
probably.
quit having it there, and they went and moved it to where they play AAA baseball. So, but yeah, like I said, ours was nice. But the guys mowing, they weren't out there doing that to mow. They were just, I got an hour to get this mowed because there's a game tonight. So they were just, laying out some, just mowing and stuff like that. But no,
Didn't have the passion.
good
That's
looking.
great though, doing something nice for the kids.
Yeah. So, but like I said, high school teacher and taking on the field, awesome.
So now, does he have to use the Pro Pete on the ball field, or can he use it on his home? I don't know what the rule is there. We'll have to consult the refs.
I think baseball fields are. I want to say I looked it up one time just 'cause I was curious. How many square foot? And I think it's close to like 50,000. I mean, the outfield is actually a lot bigger than you think for square footage, but yeah,
You might be able to get that infield looking sharp, but I have a strong feeling it'll probably be a home lawn use.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Let us
You
know though. Shoot us a message to the KOTG Instagram page with your actual name and your address, and we'll send that over to John.
Yeah,
your
I'll
choice.
I'll shoot him a message and let him know he won.
Okay, say no more.
But yeah,
Sounds good.
With everybody greening up, we need to get a bunch of entries and start rolling now. So no excuses now.
yeah.
That's right.
You can be early in the year winner.
I did see a real nice contender that Mr. Olee helped him out with the design. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen that one yet, but that could be
I don't know
if
if I
he keeps tagging, there's a good chance he's got next week locked up. But there's some, like you said, greens So people are starting to green up. Some stripes are starting to pop, and there's gonna be some competition coming.
So
I'm
here,
excited,
this is
man.
kind of cool here. Let me
No, 12,000 can't be right.
So this is pretty cool. We got 4,600 posts for KOTG somebody using the KOTG Lawn of the Week tag. So
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see some badass lawns, follow this hashtag.
Follow it.
Search the hashtag, click follow, and make sure you're tagging that.
And you can see who your competition is going to be for Lawn of the Week.
Yeah.
That's that dude right there on the left.
Is that it there?
This guy?
Yeah.
Up one. Up one.
Up one.
Oh,
That dude right there.
Yeah, check it out. Can you open
Yeah,
it?
Look at zigzags.
Look at that compared to the neighbors.
Right? Yeah, man.
must be
Full
Bermuda, right?
Yeah, Bermuda. Yeah. Man, that looks really good. That's very cool. That's not easy to do, man.
Well, look at the other pictures. Oh, he said he
my
posted.
bad.
I struggle
Yeah,
just.
It's weird on the desktop.
And you can tell it's like just the first cut of that pattern, so it's not like burned in yet, and you got a
Right,
couple
yeah.
patterns, but
Yeah, man.
that looks thick.
What's
Yeah.
he growing?
It's looking pretty awesome.
yeah. I even gave Olee a shout out in that.
Ole, do you know what kind of grass he has?
I'm not sure if he's like overseeded with rye or if he's actually fescue. I don't know for 100%. I know he's in the fescue freaks, but I'm not sure.
I like
That's
it.
cool. He's in Georgia.
Green, too.
Yeah. Definitely all the neighbors have warm season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm not
sucker's green.
100% sure.
It's kind of like a
That
golf
must be
course.
primo right there.
Yeah.
Nice little ocean of green there.
It's real nice.
It's real nice, Clark. Real nice.
Real nice, Clark.
Yeah, and you got
Guys, what do we got next week going on?
Oh, that's a good question.
that's a good question.
Let's see who we got.
We got a guest next week.
Yeah. I think they sent some of you guys some blue boxes.
Yeah, man. I got mine today. If you didn't see, we have Scenics Tools coming on next week. So Scenics has kind of like exploded onto the market. You've probably been seeing some of a KOTG alum, Clint, the neighbor dominator. He's been repping Scenics Tools for a little while. Scenics was nice enough to agree to come on the show, and they sent us some tools to try out. So all of us will be trying those things out. Go give them a follow, see what they're all about, and hear what they have to say. They're going to come talk about the company just like we do with all of our guests. They're going to come talk to us about the company, what kind of products they're offering, what the development of the products is, and kind of where they stand, in comparison to a lot of other lawn care battery operated products. So
Yeah, they seem new. I hadn't really heard much of them until just recently, so I'd be curious to kind of see, where they came from, and yeah, this will be cool. I'm excited.
Zach, is this the same company that like 3 years ago at GIE were like, we should go talk to him, and we never did?
It might have been.
I think it is.
I remember a specific thing about him though, and I don't know if it's the same one.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it and make it sound weird, but
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I remember. I swear it was.
Yeah, because this looks so familiar, and I remember we walked up. We were like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, like is the first year of GIE, so 3 years ago. I remember us standing in front of their booth, like, oh, we should talk to these guys, and see, get to know them, see who they are, see if they want to come on the show, and we just walk. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. I guess it wasn't like never mind, but it was one of those like.
It definitely is. I remember seeing this. Like, yeah, it was like our first stop. It was like our first booth, and we were just all overwhelmed our first time being there. We were like, let's talk to them, and then we never did.
We didn't have any confidence in them at all. So it was like, no, let's just move on.
216 days. It's going to be time to go again.
Sure wish I had a coupon for half off.
You know what? I bet I still have that made up there.
But anyway, go give Scenics Tools a follow on Instagram. Bump those numbers up for them, and let's give them a welcome next week. Try to be in the live chat. I don't know what the what the story is going to be with any kind of giveaway items or not, but we'll see. I have no idea. I honestly don't know.
Either
But
way, if you're not
we're
in
gonna
the
try
live
their
chat,
tools
you can't
out.
win.
What's that?
I said, either way, if you're not in the live chat, you can't win. So
Yeah, I mean, if
True.
they're generous enough to give something away, you're not going to win it if you're not in the live chat. So join us next week. We're going to talk with them and see what they're all about, see how they feel like they stack up against the competition and what they have to offer, over some other battery operated cool companies. And, I'm excited to try their stuff out. So.
I've tried the weed eater. I tried it the first day.
Yeah.
And it's pretty wicked.
Yeah.
I like it because it's super light.
Mm.
It's not going to be something you go out and take down something massive with, but just as far as cleaning up edges, and I don't have a ton around here, like around the mailbox, around the telephone poles, stuff like that. It's wicked because you can just grab and go, and it's light, and it's got plenty of cojones.
juice.
What's the head like? Like, how do you feed it?
Well, it has got a bump head on it.
Okay.
It's got a bump head on it. But what's cool about it is, when it came out of the box, it was folded, and I was like, dang, because normally you got a coated, like cable style shaft that runs from the power head down to the other end.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the heck? But, put it all together and to find out what that was, that's just a cord going from the battery down. And then it's just dang it. The motor is down at the bump head, down at the string.
Really?
It's super light. I mean, that's what I like about it. It's super light.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it out. And
it's got plenty of juice.
I got a chainsaw now. I always got to borrow a chainsaw from my brother-in-law. So
you'll be
I got my own
surprised.
little chainsaw.
I used a 40-volt chainsaw, and I was surprised on how much power it had. So I'm sure the 60-volt will have good power. And
Yeah, man.
I may be cutting down some trees on my hill.
Yeah. Get after them.
Next
summer,
I'm gonna be striping the whole hill with no trees up there.
Yeah, there you go.
Cut them all down.
You could at least trim, use that pole saw, trim some of the branches so you can get through real good.
Yeah, well, these trees, all the branches start 15 feet up. So it's really weird. There's no branches. I don't know what type of tree they are, but yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So I don't have to worry about that. It's just how many there are. Got to go around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recap, I vote yes pre-emergent, but timing's tricky. Zach, what's your vote?
Direct drive. There you go. Lucky green stripe.
Yeah, I'd say have a plan and just make sure if you're going to do it when you can. Unless you, don't have a job and you work at home, then you can do it whenever. Maybe you can be a little more specific, but that's what I would say.
I also vote yes for pre-emergence, but like we said,
Just remember
a lot of considerations, and you got to think about it a lot in terms of when you're putting it down, how much rain you're going to get, what your soil temperatures are, and like Bill brought up, do you have anything that you want to see better germination from, or do you think you have anything that didn't germinate as well in the fall that you're hoping to get to grow?
Pre-emergent. So get it out early.
Yep.
Bill's on mute.
Bill's on mute.
Talking away. Yeah. He's having his own podcast on mute.
Having the time of his life.
I'm trying to mute him but it says you mute yourself. I can't unmute you.
You must have.
There you go. You just had it. There you go, right there.
Okay.
There it is.
Somehow it messed up and it got all unplugged and I couldn't hear you guys for a while either there. But yeah, I was just saying you guys got me questioning my pre-emergent, so I might end up skipping it next year and seeing how things go, especially if I do another overseed in the fall. If I don't end up overseed in the fall, I might just do it. But I don't know, something to think about.
Yeah, and like I said, even if you miss your window, and you still get a whole bunch of weeds, there's always post-emergent products.
That's true.
So it's not like just because you missed your timing that your year's screwed or done for. You still can
Yeah.
spot spray. I mean, you're not going to blanket spray more than likely, but you just got a lot more work to do in the spring. And by the time you hit Memorial Day, you're going to know if you got a crap ton of weeds. You're just going to be, doing a little more post-emergent de-weeding than you had wanted to.
Don't give up. You can still have an amazing game.
Yeah, you get it thick like Olee, then you don't have any issues.
There you go. All right.
That's it.
Go
All right,
on.
boys.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later. Have a good night.